Well, good morning. On the Q2 earnings call, Elon dropped a bombshell that's kind of put me into a tailspin, and I need your guys' advice. I apologize for this video in advance because it's not going to be very polished. I'm trying to get this out as soon as possible because I really do want advice on this, and things are happening fast. Um, in any case, for those of you who don't know, when you buy a car, when you buy a Tesla with FSD, and you sell that car, the FSD stays with the car, not with the person. If you think about it, it pretty much disincentivizes Tesla owners from upgrading because, for example, I paid $10,000, it's now $15,000, but I paid $10,000 for FSD, and it's pretty cool now, but it is not FSD by a long shot, full self-driving by a long shot. And so I would be forfeiting that 10 and having to pay another 15 for the new car in order to get FSD. Well, that's irritated a lot of people. A lot of people have asked, why don't you change that? So Elon this quarter said, guess what, folks? We're going to allow you to do it for 1 quarter. This next quarter, you can swap in your FSD from your old car to your new. So I went down that rabbit hole. Why is this important? Well, I'm way late on giving you guys my 1 year anniversary video. That is coming, but my major concern with the car is I don't think hardware 3, which is in my 2022 car, is going to be capable of doing FSD. I have reasons for that, and I'm making a video that will show that. But I think it's possible that the computer may be able to do it at a very barely level, but I don't think the cameras are going to be able to cut it. They just don't see far enough. Like when we pull onto our highway out here, 60-mile-an-hour highway, when I pull into it, it can't see far enough down to make a good, safe decision, I don't think. But I'll cover that in my video. You can watch that. Subscribe if you'd like to see that. So if FSD doesn't work on 3, well, here's my chance to get to hardware 4. Hardware 4 is significantly better as far as capabilities go, and it is shipping in the Model S, X, and Model Y right now. It's not shipping in the Model 3, but they're going to shut down the line this quarter for the Model 3 refresh, and I assume it will have hardware 4, of course. So if you're thinking about taking advantage of this offer in your Model 3 owner, obviously wait until the refresh version comes out, if you have time. I mean, there's this time frame, 1 quarter. Elon says this is it. It's not going to happen again, but that's Elon. So I decided, well, I should price this out, see how much this is going to cost me. So I went online and I picked, I just duplicated our car, which is a Model 3 long range in blue without the third seat, no performance, standard wheels. And it came in at $68,130. Well, I got $500 off for taking advantage of my own referral code, which I thought was a nice touch. That brought it down to $67,630. Then FSD will be taken off. That's the weird thing about this, is when you go in and price it out, if you actually place the order, they make you buy FSD. They say they'll take it off later, and I'm assuming they will. But anyway, we're down after my $5 referral to $67,630. After the $15,000 FSD removal, that brings me down to $52,630. Trade-ins are strange. I would have liked a solid trade-in offer before placing my offer. Well, they don't let you do that, but they do give you a link, and I'll show it here, that lets you go and get a trade-in estimate. If you follow that link, and they know what your car is and how many miles it has in, so it's very easy. Well, they give you an estimate for, and my estimate was $39,700. Obviously, that can go up or down. Up, maybe not, down, probably. So if you take the $52,630 and you subtract $39,700, then I'm at a difference of $12,930, which is more than I would pay to upgrade to hardware 4. But there's the $7,500 federal tax rebate. So you take that off, and we're down to $6,310. which I thought was worth pursuing enough to place the order because you don't get a final figure until you place the order. So I went through and I did place the order. Well, what am I going to get for my $6,300? On FSD, quite a huge improvement. They've gone from 1.2 megapixel cameras on hardware 3 to 5 megapixel on hardware 4. Now, that's impressive. It's not as impressive as it sounds because with this multiplied by height to get your total pixels. So it's just essentially doubling the width and doubling the height. But it will, in theory, what do I know about these things? Allow them to see twice as far, maybe, or make a decision on whether that little pixel out there is coming at you or not. It certainly will extend the distance significantly. You're also getting 20 CPU cores instead of 12 in hardware 3. You're getting 3 neural net processors versus the 2 that's in hardware 3, and those neural net processors are 39% faster. So you're essentially getting 2 times more neural net compute out of this, and possibly radar. Um, they know that the Model S and X are shipping with radar. We haven't got confirmation that that's happening with Model Y yet. And I should mention, these are just Model Ys coming out of Fremont. So if your car would come from somewhere else, you couldn't get hardware for it, at least at this point in time. So that's a significant improvement in FSD. Elon has said before that that hardware 4 would be a 2 to 3 times improvement. The cameras being able to see farther and all that extra compute power. If you've driven FSD, I've already mentioned camera problems, but you notice it's kind of on top of things, much better than it used to be, but it's still a half second, sometimes 2 or 3 seconds behind how you would react. Um, they might get efficiencies through software that would make that better. I'm sure they will actually, because they've done amazing progress just in the last year. But I'm still unsure whether the FSD 3, the hardware 3 computer would be able to cut it. And then there's the comfort suspension that they put into the Model Y last winter. I've always thought my car drove well, but apparently this drives even better. So that would be great. I'm also getting a new warranty because I'm getting a new car. So that essentially extends my warranty for 14 months since I've had my car for 14 months. I'll be getting new tires. That's good, right? My tire's about 2/3 of the way through already. And so that's, a little bit of change. I have a whine in my car that I took it into the service center. It wasn't acting up that day, so they could barely hear it. It hardly showed its face. So they just kind of wrote it off. And I don't blame them. It wasn't really acting up. But they wrote it off and said, oh, those are just the noises that electric cars make. Well, this is different, and this is not right. So maybe the new car won't have that. That would be good. I'd also get a little bit more resale, right? Because I've got a new car now. And if hardware 4 does FSD, and I really think it would, seeing the specs here, then you've got significantly higher trade-in value because you've got a car that can really do it versus 3, which I don't think will be able to do it. So those are what I'm getting for it. What are the cons? Well, the cons are I'm losing $6,300, which depending where you are financially may not be anything at all. For example, my brother said, this is a no-brainer. Do it. My son said, you've already paid $10,000 for this and it's not working. You're going to pay another 6 in the hope that it will. He's got a point. The other con is I lose the ultrasonic sensors. They don't have them in the car right now. I don't use them that much. I don't know if you saw, but we made a video with Smart Summon and Auto Park. And the car actually did fairly well. We made that a year ago. I went out the other day, and I don't know if they've disabled ultrasonic sensors or the car was just having a bad day. But I tried to repeat some of those tests, and they were awful. I mean, embarrassingly awful. Like When it tried to park, it J-turned like 4 times and still hadn't got into the slot. And so I just took over. I mean, before at most it would J-turn once to get into the slot. It was terrible. But in theory, they say that the vision will be able to be as good as ultrasonics. So that might not be much of a disadvantage. Well, this is where I need your guys' advice. Hardware 3 4 does not drop into the car, into the hardware 3 spot. The interfaces are completely different. So retrofits would be very hard. But there's the possibility that one FSD3 might be able to do. Maybe it'll fool me and it really will accomplish full self-driving. But even in that case, it would be 2 to 3 times less capable than hardware 4. But still, it's possible I could get it. But what if it doesn't? Well, there's some options. If it doesn't do it, they might come in and just replace the cameras because I think that's probably the biggest area. I think the computer might be, especially if they can tweak the software, might be able to actually do FSD. Uh, but I don't know. But it's possible they could just come in and say, okay, you hardware 3 owners, we'll give you a free upgrade to new cameras. As I said earlier, that's not an easy thing to do, though, because it's just not a drop-in thing. Harnesses are different. The connectors to the computer are different. So it would have to be hardware specifically tailored for that upgrade. The same thing goes with a computer. The computer, you just can't drop into the old slot and hook up to the cameras. It would require all new interfaces. So it would require hardware developed specifically to upgrade 3 to 4. And Elon says that's probably not going to happen. Um, he was pretty adamant about that, actually. So if hardware 3 doesn't work, it could go to class action. I mean, they could try and say, well, it really does. It really doesn't. You see some of that online already. Um, but if that happens, there's little doubt in my mind that it would go to class action. But would we get anything useful out of that? As somebody suggested online, we'd probably get $420. So there's that. It could be that hardware 4 doesn't make FSD. And then here I am sitting at looking to have to do this for hardware 5 again. If they offer it again. Elon said this is a one-time shot. Elon says a lot of things, but I'm sure he believes at this point it's a one-time shot. But maybe if hardware 3 doesn't do it, they would make it more of a permanent thing or at least give us another shot at it because for them, it makes sense for us to pay rather than them to have to pay to retrofit. Maybe there are other issues about this that I'm not seeing. I could use your feedback. Which one of those alternatives do you think is most likely? Am I worrying too much about this? Let me know, please, in the comments, because I'm serious. I really would like your comments. I also am wondering, should I push delivery as late as possible? Because there's no confirmation now that the radar's in there. And I doubt it would happen by the end of the quarter, but there's likely to be a hardware 4.5. There was for 3. Was there for 3? There was for 2. Um, but if I wait, trade-in values might drop. So I don't know whether to wait or not. I don't know whether to pull the trigger on this order. And what if my trade-in comes in less than they quoted me? At what point is this not worth it to me? And that's an individual call, but what would it be for you? I'm thinking right now, if it costs me more than $7,000, I, I'm not sure I'd go for it. So that's where I stand right now. I've gone into the app. I'll show you the process here. It's actually, you just place an order and then you go in, and once the order is placed, you go in the app, you take a picture of your registration, then you take pictures of your car, and then they will give you they take the pictures of your car. I think there's 4 on the outside and 2 on the inside. They take those pictures and then they give you a firm fixed offer for your trade-in. You may be wondering why I went for a trade-in with a Tesla instead of a third party, because third parties, at least online on their initial quotes, will offer more. 43, I think was as I saw, or 44, so up to $5,000 more. Well, there's a couple of reasons. One, if you read the reviews online, a lot of those are kind of bait and switch. They want to get you into the process, and then once they look at your car, it'll come in actually quite a bit lower. Two, it's a lot easier with Tesla. You just show up and do it. But three, the big one is I'll save $2,700 in sales tax by trading in my car to Tesla, because in Washington State, I only pay tax on the difference between the value and the trade-in. Whereas if I sold to a third party, I would have to pay the sales tax on the whole amount. And the difference is about $2,700 there. So I figured it was just worth it to go with the Tesla trade-in. But if their trade-in comes in high, I don't know what I'm going to do. Well, that's pretty much where I'm sitting right now. I'm just waiting for the trade-in offer to come in, and then I'm going to have to decide whether I want to delay or pull the trigger immediately. They're already giving me a delivery date, I think, of the far end being August 11th, which is crazy for a guy who had to wait 6 months for his car when he first bought it. Um, I don't know. I'm excited, guys. I'm also a bit confused. I could sure use your help. Subscribe if you want to see. I'm going to make videos along the process here and tell you how this all goes. Um, I've also got the 1 year video I owe you. I've got the Will That Hardware 3 really be capable of FSD. I got that one I'm working on. I've got a camping mattress I made that's really comfortable, actually. I want to make a video on that. But in any case, I hope you'll like this. Subscribe if you want to see any of the rest of those videos. And please give me your comments. Until later, take care.